Hello everyone, listen, welcome to episode 88 of Food for Thought. So I'm in from the roller and I just stepping into a restaurant called Natali. So looks good. Had a glance at the menu. So I'm really hoping to have a really good meal here tonight. It's about 7:30 their time. So listen, I'm quite peckish at this stage. So listen, I'll see you later. Folks, listen, I've just sat down and first things first, just going through the wines here. So my wife and myself, there's 3 selections of wines there. And then House White, which comes in at right, that's amazing, $12.50. And then there's the one that catches my attention was the Sauvignon Blanc, that comes in at $14.50. So that's the wine selectors back to you. Okay, listen folks, I've just got into the starter here. So I've gone into the selection of starters here. Prawns pill, absolutely low, but I've had them quite a bit. So do you know something? Actually, I'm going to have them. They're no brainer. I absolutely love them. I'm right beside the Mediterranean here, so they must be at their freshest. And that comes in at $10.50. That's a good price. Back to you in a minute. And here we go. Having a look at the main course here, folks. So, what immediately caught my attention here, actually, in fairness, I can show you the picture on the wall. Oh, turn it. That's their speciality there. So, taking them back to here. That is the stone cooked entree with vegetables and potatoes. That looks really good. Thank you. Welcome back folks. My wine is self-poured. And here's my starters. Look at this, hopping on the plate. Absolutely sizzling. I can't wait to get stuck into this. Looks gorgeous. Right, you know what? Okay folks, listen, welcome back. Just looking at the amount of bread I got here, quite amazing. Gorgeous dipping bread. When you think of that other restaurant I was in the other night, just having the pill prawns, they charged me $1.50 for a stale piece of bread. Buns of bread here, and would you believe, I have to taste this. This is a creamed avocado. It actually was lovely with the bread. Down to the pill prawns, listen, I finished. I have to say it was an overkill with garlic. Mother of Jesus, there must have been 12, 13 cubes of garlic sliced into this. So it was hopping with flavour, overkill with flavour. So listen, there'll be no vampires coming near me tonight, so listen, I'm waiting for the main course. Talk to you in a while. Yeah, this is just outside the restaurant, folks. So this is passing me by every couple of minutes. I never seen so many horses. Some of the ladies are riding sides level, and it's absolutely lovely. Look, there's a wee young lad. Father with his daughter. Absolutely lovely. Here's some more coming away. Look at this. There's a lady side saddle. Absolutely, they're dressed to kill. Not sure what's going on here tonight, but there's a lot of horses in town. Okay, listen, back to the dining table. Listen, my steak has arrived. Look at this for a sizzle. In fairness, quite undercooked, which is the way it's fine. So you let it cook in the pan yourself to your own liking. My sides of chips. The leave you the bread. So listen, back to you know. Okay, listen. I've just turned my beef cooking away in the pan. I'm going to give it another couple of minutes before I get stuck into this one. I like my steak medium to well. So get stuck into the chips. Okay, back to you in a while. Bye. Yeah, and listen, I have to get a second sizzling plate because even though the first one was hopping and came out, obviously the steak was rare coming out, and in fairness again it started to cool down. There was no way it was sort of cooked or any way to cook to my liking. So the waitress, I saw her bring out a separate hot plate, which is sizzling and again. So listen, eventually I'll get to eat this steak now reduced. Quite an excess amount of fat from it. So listen, it needs fat, but listen, there's a lot of fat on that one. So I'm just letting this cook. I feel like I'm cooking this being myself, so listen, it does smell good, so back to you in a while. Starting to look a bit more like steak that I enjoy. First, the French fries are gorgeous, but also they're starting to get cold because of the delay and the overturn of the main course. Back to you in a while. Okay, listen, hello everyone, welcome back. So listen, I've concluded, and first that was a huge portion of chips. I'm jumping over to my main course that eventually came right, and that's the word I use and focus on, eventually. It was disappointing the fact that I did say to the waitress that I like my meat medium to well, and she said yeah, that would cook on the container brought out, but it was quite clear that it was totally underdone. Again, the container, the sizzler, started to stop cooking, so I had to get a fresh sizzler to come out, And eventually, yes, I did get the meat to go to the stage I like. But at that stage, I said, the chips have gone somewhat cold, the wine is grand, and listen, let's get on to the market on this one. Okay, bye. Just to give you an idea of the restaurant here, this is the outside area, which is sort of cordoned off on the main footpath. Absolutely lovely area. You know, those horses and carriages going by was incredible. That's one of the waitresses. There's 3 waitresses on duty tonight. And this is the main restaurant over here. And quite a bit of indoor seating. And here we are. Now I'm sitting here at my mark sheet. Okay, so folks, let's more down to the market here. As I said, actually there's the waitress to serve me. And yeah, so the place is absolutely buzzing in fairness to it. So, back to you in a few seconds. Okay, folks, Natali Restaurant Day and Pizzeria. Here we are on the visual. Okay, so on the visual on this, folks, listen, the visual was absolutely fabulous. I'm going to give it a 5. I'm not going to knock it on that one. The overall taste, listen, those prawns were executed with the amount of garlic that went in, as in sliced garlic. Real pity. You know, so listen, I'm gonna take that down to a 2. Service, listen, I'm gonna be quite harsh here because in fairness there's three waitresses on duty here tonight, and the waitress that I ended up getting service of was obviously the bottom of the pile, because even when I was looking at the menu outside and considering taking a seat, she passed me by 4 times without sort of acknowledging or asking or whatever. And eventually, yes, I did ask for a table, which I got from her. Ordered the wine, she brought down the wine, didn't even pour the wine, didn't bring down a nice bucket. I'd say she had the personality of a cactus. So, real pity. You know, like me that was a waiter back in the day, I know what service is and I know what bad service is. So, service was that, you know. I suppose back to the overall taste, yeah, the beef eventually was nice, and I use the word eventually. Huge amount of fat came out with the beef, a little bit off-putting. Value for money, listen, $25.50 for a main course like that, I couldn't knock it. So, in fairness, likewise with the starter. Would I return? In fairness, no. Right, so I'm going to do a count here, so that's 10, 11, 12, 13 points. Okay, one of the lower scores for food for thought. And listen, you know, well, I am full, but it was a disappointing evening, so listen, talk to you whenever.